Focus. Ideate. Innovate. Enable.
Diabetes has become one of the largest public health problems to date. Decreased physical activity, overnutrition, and nutrition transitions caused by changes in lifestyle contribute to the increasing incidence of chronic metabolic diseases as well as deaths related to them. It is absolutely imperative that individuals understand the importance of curbing it because we have the power to combat diabetes through a healthy lifestyle. To discuss this further, on the show, we have with us renowned experts who tell us how to combat diabetes by keeping fit and eating healthy, and a badminton player whose story is an inspiration to all. We open our episode with a very intriguing discussion with Dr. Samrat Shah, who is a consultant internist and a metabolic specialist practicing in Mumbai over 10 years. A well-known consultant physician at Bhatia Hospital, a panel consultant at St. Elizabeth's Hospital and Saifi Hospital, Dr. Samrat Shah believes that a sedentary lifestyle can lead to numerous complications in the human body, especially for diabetics, and that eating right and staying fit are the best ways to maintain a healthy body and a healthy mind. We have Dr. Samrat Shah with us today. He is a metabolic expert and also associated with some of the big hospitals in Bombay, such as the Saifi Hospital and the Bhatia Hospital. And currently, he has over 850 diabetic patients. Dr. Samrat, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So tell us, what is the difference between the type 1 diabetes and the type 2 diabetes?
So type 1 diabetic patients are those patients who've suffered a complete destruction to the insulin-producing cells in the pancreas. This happens because of a kind of immunological reaction, which is probably your immune cells get rebellious and they destroy this particular cell. Although the cause for this is not known. Whereas type 2 diabetics are the patients who have a complex interplay between their genetic inheritance and their lifestyle or environmental factors.
Okay, so can you share with us some fitness perspective on, what should be the lifestyle or what should be the fitness perspective for a type 1 diabetic patient and a type 2 diabetic patient, especially the food habits?
Okay, so if you first come to the fitness perspective, I mean, it's a general common sense that, the sedentary lifestyle is taking a toll on our general health. And that's why we are seeing a rise in diabetics happening in India. So normally when we define a sedentary lifestyle, we say that more than 4 hours of sitting at a particular place or a particular chair is sedentary lifestyle. So a basic routine means at least a half an hour to 45-minute daily walk comprised with probably, if you're having a desk job, to get up every 20 minutes, to stand up every 20 minutes, to have a little logical thinking. Suppose say if I am a doctor and if I have no time for aerobic exercise today, I climb up the stairs to see my patient, whichever floor the patient is on. So something similar, if you drive every day to your workplace, you park your car a little further away, walk a little bit, right?
One important question that I wanted to ask you was, my grandmother had diabetes, type 2 diabetes. What are the chances that I will get one? Because my father does have diabetes.
If you talk about the genetic inheritance, if your mother is a diabetic, you have a 15% chance of becoming a diabetic. If your father is a diabetic, you have a 25% chance of being a diabetic. If your sibling is a diabetic, you have a 50% chance of being a diabetic. If your twin is a diabetic, then you have a 75% chance of being a diabetic.
Doctor, tell us what are the food habits that a diabetic patient should follow, and is there a difference in food habits that a type 1 diabetic person should follow and a type 2 diabetic person should follow?
Correct. Basically, if you see in general, just for a general population also, people who are naive, who doesn't want to become diabetic in future because of the genetic inheritance, so we need to have a balanced diet. The carbohydrate content in our meal should be somewhere around 65 to 70%. Whereas what we follow is 80 to 90% of the carbohydrate diet. That's why we are seeing the rise in diabetes. Now, carbohydrate has two categories, simple and the complex one. The simple ones are the ones which give you instant energy, like your sucrose, which you get it from your simple sugar. Okay, fructose, which you get it from your fruits. Lactose, which you get it from your milk. complex is what you get it from your vegetables, your grains, your millets, your cereals. The most important part here, where most of us lack, is the dietary fiber intake. So a fiber which is rich in carbs and in the fiber property needs to be taken much more with your meal, because fiber not only makes a meshwork of fats and carbohydrate in the gut, and but it also increases your satiety value. So you feel that you are full very soon after eating that meal when it's incorporated with the fiber. Every diabetic patient should follow a carbohydrate count according to what their doctor has prescribed. 45 grams of carbohydrate in general during your breakfast and supper, 60 grams of carbohydrate during your lunch and dinner should be enough to see all diabetics in good control.
Okay, according to recent studies, healthy oils with ingredients such as sesame lignans or gamma oryzanals are considered to be really good for diabetic patients. So I wanted to understand your opinion on that.
So basically these days when we talk about fats, it's been taken as the most villainous part in their whole diet, which is actually wrong. Fats are equally important because it's a balanced diet, and balanced diet has 8 to 9% of fat content in it. Coming back to your question about sesame lignans and gamma oryzanals, they are the latest blend of oils, and they are considered as one of the best oil in terms of anti-immune regulator property, your antioxidant property, your anti-cancerous property, and they have some good factor on the lipids. So it seems to say that these oils do increase your HDL cholesterol by a bit and reduces your triglycerides.
So it helps in...
It does help, yeah, it does help.
Okay, my final question to you is, we spoke about or touched upon sedentary lifestyle, and we spoke about how basic things such as walking or taking stairs could make a lot of difference. What about, what are your tips for those who are leading a sedentary lifestyle right now? Apart from workout, what is the food that one should consume?
So, sedentary lifestyle is definitely not done, whether you are an urbanized guy or a rural guy. I mean, it's not, you cannot lead a sedentary life. If you lead a sedentary life, diabetes is just the tip of the iceberg. There are many health hazards which are waiting, which can really get you at a task. So, to be very honest with you, sedentary lifestyle, you have to throw it out. You have to incorporate physical activity like your daily brushing, your daily bathing. It has to be a daily routine of yours. The health tip is eat sensibly. Don't be stupid when you seeing food. Empty calories in form of just sugar doesn't make sense. Stay close to the nature. Eat what God has provided you. Stay away from man-made things. 5 white things which you should stay away from. One is sugar, salt, your butter, cheese and white flour. So if you stay away from these 5 things, probably you're seeing yourself in good health.
All right, thank you so much. Thanks for speaking to us.
Welcome.
After the break, we meet renowned yoga instructor Neelam Vaswani. Neelam Vaswani is a certified yoga instructor from the Yoga Institute in Mumbai. She is also a certified personal trainer, a nutrition counselor, and a wellness coach. She is passionate about holistic lifestyle management and conducts workshops on disease management and lifestyle management. Neelam has written wellness-related topics and is a regular contributor to the magazine and newsletter of the Yoga Institute. On this episode, Neelam talks to us about the importance of including yoga in our daily routine and how simple exercises and change in lifestyle can be extremely beneficial for diabetics.
So yoga, or a practice of yoga, it can offer many benefits. When you talk about yoga, there's many components of yoga. A lot of time we only focus on asanas and pranayams, but it's an entire lifestyle. How do you manage your lifestyle? How do you manage good diet? How do you manage those movements which can help your body, which can activate your pancreas, which can help in improving your digestion? You can manage your diet through the principles of yoga. Having sattvic food, you can manage your lifestyle by having a good routine, which is getting up on time, sleeping on time, eating your meals on time, And you can manage diabetes also by having an active lifestyle, which is walking, which is doing asanas and pranayams, not only to manage your physical self but also mental and emotional self. So there are various asanas which can help a diabetic person. So we need to perform asanas which keep the entire body fit, plus asanas which also help in diabetes. So the asanas which can help to keep the entire body fit is Surya Namaskar, you have Tadasana, you have Utkatasana, you have Pavan Muktasana. When it comes specifically to diabetes, Tadasana helps in overall wellness. It also helps in energizing your extremities, which can lose sensation in diabetes. Then coming into the second asana, which is Yoga Mudra. Yoga Mudra helps in giving compression to this area, which activates your digestion as well as your pancreas, which is an important organ when it comes to diabetes. Second asana, which is in the same series, is Ardha Matsyendriya Asana. It gives your spine a twist, again activates your abdomen and pancreas, which is effective in diabetes. Then when it comes to lying down asanas, you have Supta Vakrasana, where again you are twisting your body. You have Pavan Muktasana, which again compresses and activates your digestion. You have Bhujangasana, you have Shalabhasana, which helps in strengthening this area and also strengthening your pancreas. When it comes to asanas and pranayams, at least 30 to 40 minutes of asanas, 20 to 30 minutes of pranayams are important. You can start with doing it once in a day, which is morning, and transition to doing it twice in a day, morning and evening. With this, you also need to include walking in your schedule, 30 minutes of walking in the morning and 30 minutes of walking in the evening. So when it comes to managing diabetes, yes, it can be hereditary, it can be also due to your bad lifestyle. So if you see that you are pre-diabetic, or your family has that history of diabetes, it's important to maintain a good lifestyle, focusing on your diet, focusing on regular exercise. In exercise, you can include brisk walking or walking, and also asanas and pranayams. So it's important to start, don't wait for diabetes to catch up with you, but defeat the diabetes by maintaining a good lifestyle. Whatever asanas that I have mentioned can be done by these people as well. Yoga is something which has to be practiced 24/7, right from having the right lifestyle, right time of getting up, sleeping, right eating habits, to having asanas and pranayams in your daily schedule.
After the break, we meet renowned badminton player Nikhar Garg, whose story leaves us inspired. Nikhar Garg is a renowned Indian badminton player from Mumbai who has represented India in various Indian and international events. Nikhar was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes when he was only 8 years old and has combated the disease ever since. Nikhar has fought diabetes like a true player and has made sure that it never hindered with his sport. He in fact has taken it into his stride and made it into a positive way of living. Nikhar is truly an inspiration to all youngsters and aspiring sportsmen who are coping with diabetes. We have renowned badminton player Nikhar Garg with us today. He is a type 1 diabetic, so we find out from him how does he play his sport and cope with diabetes at the same time. Nikhar, welcome to CNBC TV 18. So, tell us, how did you make it big in the badminton circuit? When did you start playing your game?
Actually, I started playing at the age of 6 and I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at the age of 8. So when I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, like any other family, it was obviously something big for the family to come to know that their son is having type 1 diabetes. But the credit goes to my parents as well. They did not tell me much about this thing, what type 1 diabetes is and it could cause problems to your life. Basically, they wanted me to focus on my studies and my sport as it is and continue to lead a normal life. So, it's their, the way they have treated me in the childhood, how they nurtured me to make my career in sports, They helped me ignore diabetes and what it could, lead to. But it did not necessarily mean that you should ignore the disease. They basically meant to say that diabetes should not be a hurdle to your badminton career.
Okay, so since you lead a very active lifestyle as compared to those who might have a type 1 diabetes, but would be leading like a normal walk or a regular short jog kind of a lifestyle, physically fit, but not let's say a rigorous workout, but you being an athlete go through training, you have hard training hours, sometimes 3, sometimes 6 hours. So how do you manage your diabetes along with your training schedule and your sport?
See, what I see is type 1 diabetes, I call it as a self-managed disease. You don't necessarily need to rely on a doctor or someone all the time to manage your diabetes. Like in the initial few years, you obviously need a doctor, you need a diabetes educator, and basically diabetes educator is someone who understands not only the doctor is someone who understands the physical impacts of what diabetes can do, like how it can affect your other organs of the body and other kind of things. But a diabetes educator is a person who understands the psychology of a child. Basically type 1 diabetes, it is also known as juvenile diabetes, and it happens in kids usually below 16 or 14 years of age, and even there are kids who are born with type 1 diabetes. So you need a diabetes educator who nurtures you, how to, they build the confidence in you. Basically they train you how you should take your dosage of insulin. If you are having a very active lifestyle, you are going for a very rigorous workout, how much insulin you should take, how many hours before the workout you should take insulin, what kind of a diet you must eat.
Can you give us like a bit of an insight of the diet that you follow, because especially during your training hours, you would be spending a lot of calories in your practice, so you need to replenish that with equal amount of carbs, and carbs, as we know, is really important for a diabetic patient. So how do you manage your diet?
See, one misconception which I have seen in the society, or you can say in the type 1 diabetic community, is people are not aware that carbohydrates are something which increases the blood sugar. They rely on the fact that calories. So calories has no relation with your diabetes. It is carbohydrate. So the more carbohydrates you eat, it increases your blood sugar. For example, wheat, maida, rice, and any kind of flour, it increases your blood sugar. So you should, generally the type 1 diabetics or any diabetics in general are advised to have a low carb diet. So in case of my life, being an athlete, what I do is generally I have some carbohydrates before my training session, so that I have that much energy, because when you're training and when you're burning energy, you're basically burning out sugar in your body, and you need those sugar to be replenished. So you should always have decent amount of carbohydrates. And again, the amount of carbohydrates, it depends upon what kind of workout you're going for, whether you're playing badminton, whether you're doing cardio in the gym, or you're just going for a jogging or something.
Okay, so final question to you is, what is the message that you would like to give our audience and the youth today, because you're such an inspiration yourself, you have not let setback affect your regular life and your game at all.
I started addressing diabetes patient group events with type 1 diabetic kids and sharing my life story to them, and it's been a year and a half. Before that, I've been type 1 diabetic since the age of 8, like it's been almost 15 years. I never knew any other type 1 diabetic apart from me. I never met anyone, because I never thought of type 1 diabetes as a disease or you are different from others. So I never found the need to find someone with type 1 diabetes, or neither did my parents feel that Nikhar feels himself as someone different with this disease. So they never bothered to tell me, look Nikhar, he's also having the same thing, so you should not worry, because that's not needed. Basically you are not different from anyone else, And I can proudly say myself as an example, because I never felt the need of seeing someone with the same, people call it disorder, disease. I don't even call it as a disorder or a disease. In fact, I call it as an incentive, incentive to lead a very disciplined lifestyle.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thanks for speaking to us, and thanks for sharing your story. So don't let diabetes affect you. Follow a healthy diet and stay physically active is the message that I got from Nikhar Garg. That's it for now. Goodbye.
Focus. Ideate. Innovate. Enable.